Today, we're going to uncork one of the greatest comeback stories in the entire world of wine. It's an incredible tale of mistaken identity, near extinction, and a rediscovery that absolutely nobody saw coming.
Just think about it for a second. What if a country's most celebrated product, something they were famous for, turned out to be something else entirely? A treasure the world thought was lost to history, just hiding in plain sight.
Well, believe it or not, that's pretty much exactly what happened in Chile. You see, back in 1994, a mind-blowing discovery was made in their vineyards. The grape they'd been growing, bottling, and selling as Merlot for generations. Yeah, it wasn't Merlot at all. It was a completely different grape, one that everyone thought had vanished from the face of the earth.
And that grape was Carmenère. Now, this wasn't just some random grape. This was a classic, a noble grape from Bordeaux, France, a really crucial part of their famous blends. But after a devastating plague, it was just gone, officially declared extinct. Or so the world thought.
This timeline really lays out the incredible journey. We start in Bordeaux, right? Then we see it make this accidental escape to Chile, totally under the radar. Its family back in Europe gets completely wiped out. And then, a whole century later, boom, the shocking rediscovery. I mean, it's a plot twist worthy of a detective novel.
Okay, so to really understand the miracle of its survival, we've got to rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning, to its original home in France. So, back in the early 1800s, Carmenère was basically royalty in Bordeaux. Seriously, it was one of the 6 original red grapes that made their blend so world famous. Winemakers absolutely loved it for the intense, deep color and the soft tannins it brought to the table, not to mention these wonderfully complex, spicy, and herbal notes.
And then, disaster struck. A tiny little insect called phylloxera just swept through Europe, destroying vineyards by attacking the roots of the vines. Carmenère happened to be a particularly sensitive grape, and it got hit hard, so hard in fact, that it was completely wiped out in its homeland and, officially declared extinct.
But here's where the story takes a wild turn. Because, unbeknownst to the entire world, Carmenère wasn't gone. It was actually thriving, living under an assumed identity on the complete other side of the planet.
So how on earth did this happen? Well, it was like the perfect storm of events. First, the escape. Right before the plague hit Europe, some Chilean growers imported vine cuttings from Bordeaux, and, some Carmenère was in that batch. Second, the mix-up. In a simple but totally world-changing mistake, those cuttings were misidentified as Merlot and planted right alongside the real Merlot vines. And third, the perfect hideout. The warm, dry Chilean climate turned out to be the ideal environment for Carmenère to flourish, completely protected from the plague that destroyed its European family.
You know, for 100 years, winemakers in Chile knew this Chilean Merlot of theirs was a little different. It always seemed to ripen later, and it just tasted distinct. After its rediscovery in 1994, they could finally understand why. So what does this resurrected grape actually taste like?
Let's put them head to head. While Merlot is generally smooth and round with those classic black fruit flavors, Carmenère is a whole different animal. It's got a deeper color, softer tannins, and this unmistakable spicy kick of black pepper. You'll often get a unique herbal note too, kind of like green bell pepper. That was the clue that something was different all along. And when you stick your nose in the glass, it's this beautiful explosion of ripe red fruits. But what really defines it, what screams Carmenère, is that signature note of black pepper. And when it's aged, it develops these gorgeous complex layers of coffee, dark chocolate, and toasted spices. It's just a truly distinctive and memorable wine.
And don't make the mistake of thinking it's a simple wine. High-quality Carmenère has serious aging potential. If you can give it 5 to 10 years, those fresh fruit and spice notes evolve into something so much deeper and more complex. We're talking dried fruits, rich leather, and tobacco. So as you can imagine, this rediscovery changed everything. What started as a case of mistaken identity, well, Carmenère has risen like a phoenix from the ashes to become Chile's signature grape, a true symbol of the nation's entire wine industry.
Today, it absolutely thrives in several key valleys. The Maipo Valley gives us these really structured, fruit-forward versions. Head over to the Colchuago Valley, and you'll find richer, more concentrated wines with those delicious chocolate notes. And then there's Apalta, a special little spot within Colchuago that's famous for producing some of the most elegant and age-worthy Carmenère in the world. And you have to love how versatile it is with food. Its spicy character makes it a natural for spiced dishes. Think Mexican or Indian cuisine.
Its acidity is just perfect for cutting through rich grilled meats, and those herbal notes we talked about are fantastic with roasted vegetables. It is an incredibly food-friendly wine. When you boil it all down, the story of Carmenère is so much more than just a grape. It's this incredible story of survival against all odds, of a lost identity being found, and of Chile embracing this happy accident and turning it into a proud national symbol.
But the story isn't over, not by a long shot. Today, producers are focused on the future. They're developing new clones to adapt to a changing climate, they're embracing sustainable farming, and they're even getting creative by making Carmenère into rosé and sparkling wines. How cool is that?
Which leaves us with a final thought. This is a grape that already cheated death once. So as it faces the modern challenges of climate change and evolving tastes, you have to wonder, what does the next chapter hold for this remarkable survivor? Its past suggests it's going to be a story worth following.